Hi everyone, Dodi Day. My name is Mbole Ekaney and I am the founder and editor of thehotgem.com, which is an online destination for fashion, lifestyle, and entertainment focusing on Cameroon and beyond. I currently live in the United States. I live in New Jersey, although I'm in New York a lot, and I went to school already. I already graduated. I have 2 master's degrees and I work during the daytime in a pharmaceutical company, and I also blog on the side. A blogger is a person who provides regular content on a website, usually a web page that they own or a website. So they're basically content writers, and they provide regular information either in the form of a diary where they have their own opinions or just general information to inform people. I got into blogging because, well, initially I got into blogging because I like to write. I'm that kind of person who likes to take down notes and journals, but I created the Hot Gem in particular because I wanted to create a platform where people can actually go online and find out information about Cameroon's pop culture. I used to travel to Cameroon, and one thing that I noticed was I couldn't find a lot of information on people that were happening, like the artists that were up and coming, what were the hottest songs, who are the fashion designers to look out for, where can I get the latest styles, just everything about pop culture. So I had seen a few sites that did talk about entertainment and, you know, people and trends, but there weren't many. Obviously, if you go online, you'll see everything about Nigeria and Kenya and South Africa, but nothing on Cameroon. So I thought it would be a great platform to be able to provide that opportunity to showcase a lot of talent and to discover talent and promote it to the rest of the world. So in other words, we needed to rebrand Cameroon, and I thought it would be great to start it off with the Hot Gem. One of the things I think I've done pretty well was to provide a platform, like I mentioned, for promoting people. I've promoted so many artists, so many Cameroonian designers, just so many people for free, you know, and that was fine because, you know, I wanted Cameroon to be out there. So I think a huge part of what I've done for Cameroon in general is to provide that free promotional platform for people to expose whatever talent they have or whatever services they had, so other people could be able to know, and in turn they also had these people reach out to them. So for example, if you're a designer and I maybe did a feature on you, I've had people that actually reached out to the designer to purchase stuff or to get information. So that right there gives you that outlet to be able to be known by other people that didn't know you. So number one, I think a lot of promo, the Hot Gem has been pretty big on that. Discovering talent has been another thing where we go out of our way to look and have an eye on people. I've told people, if you see an artist that you think is really good but we don't know about, let me know, and I reach out to them. So I think I personally have done a lot in terms of helping to promote the Cameroonian pop culture in general, and obviously through the Hot Gem. Well, yes. So when I first started blogging, I didn't have any issues with any bloggers, and I really don't have any issues right now. It was just more, everybody seemed to enjoy what they were doing. You just wanted to promote Cameroon. Obviously, when you are doing anything, when there's an influx of the same number of people, like the same type of people, let's say there are many people doing the same thing, there'll obviously be competition. You know, now you're not like the only one. There are many others that are doing the same thing. So for me, I felt the tension started when people started differentiating between Cameroonian bloggers in Cameroon and Cameroonian bloggers in the diaspora. I remember very clearly after I had been blogging for about a year, they had a Twitter hangout sort of thing that was going on, and they said it's only for Cameroonian bloggers in Cameroon. And for me, it was quite ironic because some of us who don't even live in Cameroon blog way more about Cameroon than some Cameroonian bloggers that actually live in Cameroon. So for me, I just thought it was just sort of weird that you're already excluding Cameroonian bloggers that don't live in Cameroon, because a lot of Cameroonian bloggers out of Cameroon blog, you know. So initially, I think there was a bit of tension in that way, where we were distinguished between those in Cameroon versus those out of Cameroon. And then I think sometimes people maybe didn't really take us seriously, those of us who lived abroad, because they felt like, well, we have access to internet and all that, so of course blogging will be easier for us, so let's give more credit to the Cameroonian bloggers that live in Cameroon, because they have to go through a lot more to get their blogs out there. But at the end of the day, for me, I felt that people were not, they kind of lost the whole idea of what blogging was meant for. We are really there just to promote our country, so at the end of the day, I just looked at it like, I don't care what people say, we'll just have to get along. So I think I get along pretty well with most of the bloggers. I don't know all of them, but the ones that I do, especially in the entertainment, I'm pretty cool with them. Yeah. It's fun for me, it's natural, so that's why I'm still around. So I will be around for a long time. I enjoy doing it because I enjoy writing. At the end of the day, even though you want to make a profit, but you always think too that, well, this person is really somebody that I think people should know. All right, I'll count my losses. I might not get money promoting them, but I think it's important because I still want to brand the country. But at this point, I think in time, it's both. It's passion and it's also to make profit. You can only do something for so long for free. If you're not making money out of it, then you need to be able to justify that time that you're using, to do it. And I feel it's fair enough that at this point I should be making money off of it, because you're promoting people that are also making money because of the promo. So it's both passion and money. Well, I'm not going to only have a blog site, I'm expanding it. So for me, it's like the Hot Gem is a brand. I also just recently started my company called the Hot Gem Media & Co., which is the parent company of the Hot Gem brand. Under the Hot Gem, you have the website, obviously, which is where you get all the information, but there'll be more coming up soon. So I can't really say too much right now because I'm still sort of finalizing a few things, but you'll see in 2018. And the whole idea of the Hot Gem is basically for people to always, when they think of the Hot Gem, they're thinking of a Cameroonian brand that is out there to promote Cameroon and Africa in general. I think if you're interested in blogging, I think blogging is something that you just can't wake up and just build. It's something that you have to have some sort of like a passion for. I mean, you might not know that it's a passion for blogging, but you might be somebody who likes to write or somebody who likes to tell a story. Now, when you say blogging, I know most people think of websites, but there are people that also do microblogging where they post regularly on Facebook. You do microblogging because you do a lot of Facebook posts. That's also another form of blogging. But when you're looking at the traditional sense of blogging where you actually have a website, for me, a person who wants to blog really needs to put their 100%, because it's not just posting on the blog. If you want people to know about it, you have to be willing to keep the information up to date and also to be able to share the information so people can know about it. Some people blog and they don't care if people land on the blog or not. They just want to have a blog site where they put their information. That's fine. But if your idea and your main goal is for people to see what you're writing and you want to eventually make money, you need to make sure that you push your content to those people, and it's a lot of work. It's not just blogging and posting and that's it, And also you have to consider the cost. You have to pay for hosting. You have to pay for your domain name. Once in a while we need a webmaster. I got hacked once and it cost me quite a good amount to get that hack out. So you need to have all those things in place for you to run the website. And when you're blogging, if you want to take it to the next level like business, you should treat it as a business from day one. Whereas you start thinking about the direction. So you'll say, in a year, I would like to at least get maybe a certain number of visitors coming to my site. Maybe by the end of next year, I might want to double it. Have a plan of action, even if it doesn't work out, but you're going to see progress. And just stay consistent and get into a niche that you're actually really passionate about. Don't jump into music because everybody's doing music. Do music because you actually enjoy it. If you enjoy it, you will not think it's a burden or it's not like hard for you to do. I think one of my major challenges basically is being able to just get content writers. It's very difficult. One of the things I wanted to do with the Hot Gen was to make sure that the people that I'm working with for the site were all Cameroonian. For the most part, I wanted my web designer to be Cameroonian. I wanted the content writers to be Cameroonian, because for me, I felt like that's a good way to also employ your own people. You can get people from here, but you want to also give the people that know more about the country that opportunity to work with you. But it's been really difficult, and it's difficult too because of the culture Cameroon has now, where young people think that money is going to be made overnight. They want the fast money. So you're reaching out to somebody who tells you they want to blog, and then when they start blogging, they see that it's actually serious. It's not as easy as they thought. They back out almost immediately. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you have the luxury of being in your house. Internet is paid for. All you need to do is blog. If you can't even do this easy task, how are you going to do any normal job? So those are the little things that made me realize that it would be a bit of a challenge. And then I think another challenge is just the fact that you have to deal with the fast pace of social media. You have to keep it up, You maintain the sites, you also have to maintain your pages. It's not just the website. You have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have YouTube, you have Twitter. You need to find the right social media platforms that target your audience. Facebook is not for every type of audience. Instagram is not for every type of audience. You need to know the type of content you're putting out there and what platform works for you. And I think the third difficulty too is the fact that because my website is visited by a lot of Anglophones, I'm sorry to say, Anglophones are so not engaging. They're so not engaging in terms of motivating. They don't comment, they don't do anything. They just come on the site and they go. When you go to an average Francophone blogger site or page, it is so active. These people share left and right. They comment on the blog. Even if they don't comment on the blog, they comment on Facebook. They make sure they know that they came and saw your content. But with our Anglophones, they're not like that at all. They're more conservative. Maybe the Android generation is more active, but in general, Anglophones are not as active. But it doesn't mean that they're not supporting you, but they just are not used to leaving comments and sharing and stuff like that. So that becomes a huge challenge, because the only way you can get your information out there is if people are sharing it. And if they're not sharing it, then sometimes you wonder, like, why am I even bothering? People say they like it, so why don't you share it? So I think my biggest challenge right now in terms of dealing with the audience is just having them engage. My Instagram has a bit more of a Francophone following, and it's quite engaging. So that's what I would love to see across the board for all bloggers. I think that's the main challenge we go as Anglophone bloggers. Well, it's a two-way street. I understand the fact that artists also spend a lot of money to get their videos and songs out there, but this is how I look at it. In today's society, we live in the technological world, and there's no way you as an artist would think that you're going to spend money on getting your song produced, spend money on making a $1 million CFA video, and then think that you're going to have free promo. It doesn't work that way. Marketing and promotion has to be one of the biggest things you have to consider. Unless you're already known, where by default people will share your stuff just because you're known, even if your stuff is not that good. That's the advantage you have as a known artist or as a known any person. Now, for me, it's sort of like I'm very torn between the two scenarios, because I know you're a new artist, you might not have that income. But what really gets to me the most is so many artists now take it to another level where they assume that we're not even going to consider paying these bloggers. They're just going to do a blog about it. It doesn't work like that. You can't just spend money on everything else and then think that magically we're going to pick you up and start promoting you. And then when you become known, eventually you'll be making money because you'll be booked for shows. So when you're booked for shows, are you going to come back to me and say, hey, you promoted me, I'm going to give you a little percentage? You have to see where we're coming from too. And as I mentioned, blogging is not free. We pay for the host. We pay sometimes for content writers. Sometimes you might need information, you have to pay for it. We also spend money. How do they think we run our blogs? The artists that complain, I've seen many of them complain, that's fine. That's their personal opinion. But one thing I notice is that a lot of artists complain only after something has been written bad about them. You understand? They don't look at it from both sides, where they'll say, okay, this blogger did write a lot of good things about me. This one time they probably said something bad about me. That's just the way the game is. You're out there, you put yourself out there, people are going to have their own opinions. Is it correct to say something that you don't know anything about in a negative form? No, it's not. We know that. But I feel that most artists are not that big right now where they cannot reach out to a blogger. If I wrote something really bad about an artist, you're not Celine Dion. You can reach out to me on Facebook even and send me a message and say, look, that article you wrote about me was a little funky. Could you maybe explain yourself? And I could probably take it off. We're humans. But when they see an article, they just start making noise and all that. But then yet, when you don't blog about them, oh, bloggers don't blog about you. What do you want? You can't have your cake and eat it. We're not going to blog about you and always say everything perfect about you if it's not perfect. If I heard your song and I don't care so much about it, I'm not going to lie that, oh, this is the best song. I will critique it. I've done that before for other artists. I don't blast the song, but I'll say it wasn't my favorite song. I didn't really care much about the direction. That's my opinion. I'm not saying anything wrong. Once you do that, suddenly the artist will either block you or they will go and complain to their friends, and then somehow later you hear about it. Oh, this artist is upset because you said this and that. What do you want? If I don't blog about you, you say we don't blog. When we do blog, you complain. What do you really want us to do? So you have to sort of pick your battles. Is it worth going out there and blasting bloggers who can turn against you and say, okay, we're not going to blog about you anymore. Get your music out some other way. Nigerians are not going to blog about you. Ghanaians are not going to blog about you. So you're going to come back to us, And this is why, for me, like I said, all these issues started when we started having an influx. Because you have some bloggers, I don't know what their intentions are. Maybe some of them are out to attack artists, just do that. But then you also have the really good bloggers that don't really care about that. They just want to blog. So sometimes, like anything else, you just have to look at the different bloggers and try to use your common sense. Go on their site, look to see what the pattern of their writing is. If it was just that one time that they said something bad, does not make them a bad blogger. It could just be maybe it was just a misjudgment, or maybe they didn't understand you, or they just, I don't know what it is, but you cannot just take one incident and just say, oh, this person is horrible. And that's what a lot of artists do, Joanda. I go to, for music, sometimes I go to 237 Showbiz. I also I rep Camer. Yeah. But there are many others as well. Yeah, well, I want to obviously thank everybody who has been supportive of the Hot Gem. I mean, as much as I know bloggers sometimes complain that they don't get support, there's no way that, I've been to so many places where people will be like, oh, she's the person who has the hotgem.com or the Hot Gem, and they're like, oh, I know the Hot Gem, but I don't know you. So obviously people are spreading the word, and I really appreciate the support. We've been nominated for several awards over the last few years, so obviously we wouldn't be nominated if people weren't reading the blog. So thank you all so much for your support. And we work hard. I'm not the only one running the blog site right now. I have a few people that help me behind the scenes, and they work hard too. So I'm just very thankful for the team that I have, and I'm thankful for you guys just even giving me the opportunity to just write whatever I want. So far, I've not really had such bad feedback on the Hot Gem, so it's been pretty good. But it's okay. Everybody has their opinion. I love everyone, whether you hate it or you don't like it or you like it. It doesn't matter. As long as we're all adults and we can all act as adults and provide constructive criticism. And there'll be a lot more to come in 2018. I'm looking forward to it. There'll be a lot of 30 days.